So there's a few other things that we want to consider as we move towards online training and learning. There's other things that are important to consider, such as evaluation of motivation and learning. What is motivating our learners to continue taking courses with us? It's important that as you move to online learning that you don't have a disconnect with your learners. And luckily for us, as I said, there will always be that classroom component. So our instructors will have that ability to make those connections with the learners. Sometimes when you're talking about online learning, there can be some disconnect between the learners and the instructors because a lot of times they don't actually meet face to face. But as we move in this direction, we do want to consider those theories of motivation and the feedback that's necessary with to provide learners so that they continue to be engaged in the content. Another component that's kind of something interesting to consider is the concept of just-in-time training. So this applies with online learning when we're talking about something that an adult needs to learn immediately, and how can we provide that information pretty much just in time. So that's something that we might want to consider moving forward. It's not necessarily something in the first phase, but I think that as we move towards creating online courses, that's something that we might want to consider what might be useful for our learners in that category. And another thing I just want to point out as we talk about all this technology and how we might move towards online courses is that technology should always be seen as supplemental in achieving our goals as a learning organization. We obviously still need to focus on the classroom component, the hands-on training, and what we are offering to our learners that are different than what other culinary institutes are offering. Obviously, we want to be seen as cutting edge. We want to be disseminating the most up-to-date information that we can. So we don't want to get so focused on the technology side that we lose sight of our main vision, which is cooking and the culinary field and what direction that's moving in. And I also just wanted to give a quick definition of training. And it's basically training is defined as learning that is provided in order to improve performance on the present job. So we can kind of think of ourselves as providing training and learning. We're not quite the same as community colleges who are teaching biology courses, because really a lot of times what we are offering is also it's on-the-job training. It's training that our students can apply in their daily lives. They may be learning new concepts, but they're also learning things that are going to help them improve their performance and do better as a chef, as a baker. So again, I think the theories of motivation and strategies to engage learners in online courses are very important as we move forward. Things that we're going to talk about today, such as the use of a wiki and other ways to keep students engaged and collaborating, especially with our audience that we're dealing with busy adults. So if we give them opportunities to engage with each other and their instructors outside of the classroom when they do have time to do that, the internet and technology and moving things online is a great way to do this. They may not have time to meet twice a week at a set time during the day, but they might be able to engage in a discussion board or a wiki post and collaborate with ideas on new recipes or techniques, or troubleshoot when they're having difficulties executing a certain new strategy they learned in the kitchen that week. So Keller, who's a theorist on motivation, in the 1980s, he came up with a theory that motivation, capability, and opportunity must all be present for students to have good performance. So these are all things that we want to consider. We make them capable through showing them new strategies, new techniques in the kitchen. We have to motivate them. The instructor has to motivate them, whether that be in the kitchen, online, through feedback, emails, calls, however we can do that. And also opportunity. And by lowering the cost of our training, which we hope to do by moving things online, we will be opening up this opportunity for learning at the Culinary Institute to new learners and a new audience, which is ultimately our goal. So now let's just take a look at the current status of training and learning at the Culinary Institute of Virginia. Right now there's a variety of ways that training materials are being presented. As I said, there's that classroom component, so teachers kind of choose, instructors I should say, choose what they want to do during that time. Some teachers show videos, some teachers do more of a lecture type situation. Some provide, books, supplemental books that their students should read to participate in the classroom component. And sometimes they email links to online training materials for students to watch outside of class, or they post it to their websites, or they save it on the local share drive in the organization, which is obviously taking up some space on our servers, and it's not really the best way for students or teachers or instructors to access this material on an ongoing basis. So again, I said there's 1 to 2 classroom meetings during the week beyond the time spent in the kitchen with the hands-on training component. And it can be very difficult for some of these students to attend these classroom sessions. We've done some course surveys. At the end of every course, we have students fill out these surveys, and that's basically the overwhelming feedback that we've gotten, is that the classroom component is a major obstacle for many of these students. And a lot of times their grades end up suffering as a result of the classroom component. So this is really what started us moving in this direction of blended online learning. And the paper exams that are taken during the classroom time, they test the skill and understanding of certain concepts on a more fundamental level, as opposed to an actual techniques hands-on level, because obviously they're tested in the kitchen as well. But this is something that happens right now during that classroom component, and this is one of the major reasons that a lot of the teachers have held on to that classroom component of the courses here. But a solution that I'd like to introduce is a learning management system that we can use here at the Culinary Institute. So a learning management system is software that provides a platform for an organization's online learning. It facilitates ways to manage, deliver, and track blended learning that is online and classroom training for employees, stakeholders, and customers. And how will that help us here at the Culinary Institute of Virginia? It'll help get us organized. It'll help students find new courses and register for courses. It'll help students and teachers track their progress. And it'll make the creation, dissemination, and grading of exams much easier. It'll cut down on a lot of the staff time on creating and grading these exams, because that can all be done online through our learning management system. Basically, it is what you can think of as like a one-stop shop for everything that the students, teachers, and faculty need here at the Culinary Institute. So now what I'm going to do is move into some screenshots that I've taken from another organization that I worked with. This was a learning management system that we customized for them. So basically take these screenshots and consider how we might modify them for the Culinary Institute. But basically I wanted you to see what it looks like, what experience the learners and the administrators would have with this learning management system. So the examples I'm going to show you were for a professional organization related to civil engineering. So the first screenshot that I have here would be the welcome page. This would be the main page that students would see when they logged in to the system. We have a lot of ability for customization here. So you can see there's several widgets that we call them throughout this page that can basically be customized. Some of the most important ones here on this welcome screen are the welcome message. So that will be personalized for whoever is logged in. Now, the administrators of the site can choose what that welcome message is. So now if there's an important message that applies to all institute students, we can make that message here. For example, final exam deadline next week, or registration period ends, or classroom kitchen training next Saturday at this time has been moved to a new time. Also, you can quickly search the catalog right from this home page. So we'll get to the catalog next, but that's where you can find new courses. Some quick links, so quick links can link us back to the main Culinary Institute Virginia webpage if there's something that we want to direct students to. There's also an opportunity to create polls, so there's some interactivity that we can add to this site. So if there's something that we want to ask our students, we want to ask them, would they be interested in a class on fondant techniques for cakes, for cake decorating, or would they be interested in molecular gastronomy course? We can get some feedback there through that poll. It's not required, but again, people like the interactive feature. And then the My Courses tab in the middle, basically that would be where the student would see the courses they are enrolled in, and that's where they would access any of the on-demand content or exams for that particular course. And again, the other three boxes on the right, fully customizable, so we can choose what we put there. Maybe we want to highlight an upcoming event, course, or lecture, or we want to, again, draw the student's attention to another culinary organization. So on the next page, we're going to look at, this is the catalog. Now this is a really great way for us to organize our catalog. Right now, our catalog is hosted on our main web page. It's not really that easy for students to find what they're looking for. It's basically just one big laundry list of all the different courses. Now, moving into this learning management system will allow us to create categories for our courses. So we can specifically define we can help the students specifically define what they're looking for. So in this example, you see on the left-hand side, there's multiple ways that you can refine your search. Technical area, delivery, product. Again, this would be modified for us. Maybe we would say something like specialty area, baking, grilling, cake decorating, French cuisine, things like that could be categories. Delivery, live versus on demand. If we ever move to actual online only courses completely, so not blended, we can actually change the delivery type here. And again, we will be working with the instructors and the students to kind of figure out how we want to go about defining these category options. But again, you see that it's a great way for you to sort for what you're looking for, find what you want to register for, and do it all in one spot. And immediately see it, and it's available immediately upon registering in your My Courses area. So here's another in-depth look of the My Courses area, which will help students keep track of the training they're currently enrolled in and their progress in each course. So if there's an exam they need to take, they can see what grade they got, they can see if it's been completed, and how much time they have left in order to do that. And this is, again, all fully customizable, so the instructor of the course can decide, when the exam needs to be taken by, what score is required for passing.